I consider one of the photographs in this series to be evidence of support from a fearsome Nganga, as well as a display of its sorcerer's obedience to its mandates. Maria Teresa de Rojas was finally able to photograph a magical container, a prenda of Mayombe for me. The Ngangas, mounted Orishas, the stones in which they are adored, the ceremonies, none of these should be photographed under any circumstances. To date, Santeros and Paleros are inflexible on this point. I had forgotten that Barreau had refused emphatically when I had asked him for permission to photograph his Nganga 3 or 4 years earlier. Then, one day, he arrived unexpectedly, carrying nothing less than his magical, sacred and awe-inspiring cauldron hidden in a black sack. The spirit who lived in it had stated that it wanted to be photographed and that it was fine for the Moana Mundel to keep the photograph. The old man was anxious to satisfy the unexpected whim of his Nganga. Calmly, he authorized me, with the permission of the prenda, to publish the photograph if I so desired. It is the only Nganga that has been photographed in Cuba. For the first time in his life, Barreau also agreed to remain still for a few seconds in front of the lens, the unsettling mensu of a camera. He had previously refused me this favour, not because he was suspicious of my good intentions, but out of fear that the image might end up in the hands of another sorcerer. A rival might use the photograph to cast a spell, killing him easily by performing rituals with needles or lucambo finda and toto in a grave. Desecration aside, his rivals would have been able to use the photograph to magically restrain and weaken his Nganga. This was taken from the highly respected literature from Lydia Cabrera in her book titled El Monte. This is dated back to April 1954 and shows how precious and respected the Nganga was back then. So we see the difference now of how everyone shows the prendas in the current time on social media.